Guess why I smile a lot? Because it's worth it. Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. It's me, Max, the shell with shoes on.
It's me, Chris, the shell with shoes on.
Darcy, the shell with shoes on. That's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Here we go. How have we been over the past week? Because it has been a week this time. It feels like a week.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been a while.
Who knows?
Well, you say a while, I say a week.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone I know at the moment's going through something.
I'm not.
Oh, wow.
So that throws that theory
I
out
love
the
that.
fucking window.
Everyone I know is either going through something or complaining about something.
That's the British condition, is it not?
Yeah.
I thought we were all perpetually complaining about going through something. Oh no.
I'm not completely wrong, is it?
I can't afford rent this month. Oh no. My baby just died. Oh no. The king is a bastard. There are paedophiles in the monarchy and the parliaments. What are we ever to do? How about listen to the Sunday Movie Marathon coming at you live every Sunday to discuss what's really important about, the state of cinema. We've been to the cinema.
That's right.
We saw Marcel the Shell with shoes on again.
Yeah.
And Chris
did.
told me, there's no way you can make it, bro. Even though I thought that it was an hour later than it actually was. And he was like, don't even bother coming. Don't even bother turning up, Max. And I was like, you underestimate me and that's going to be your downfall. And I sprinted there and guess what? I made it just as John Boyega was doing his dumb little voiceover saying, don't use your phones, bruv. Don't use your phones. Turn that off.
Yeah,
Look at that screen. It's fucking huge, isn't it?
It was quite triumphant.
That is
I'm not gonna
exactly how
lie.
that goes.
I was
Yeah,
actually
true.
very excited when he came through.
Yeah.
I wasn't
told you I was
expecting
gonna do
him to
it.
come through, but
No,
there
well,
he
you
was.
underestimate me.
It's true.
You
It is
underestimate
true.
everything I got going on. One of these days, you're going to reap what you sow.
Probably already am, mate. Probably already am.
So M. Night's got a new movie in the works
Yeah.
already.
Yes.
Fresh off a fucking Knock at the Cabin. He's going back to, what is it, Universal?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, the other one.
Don't think they've worked together before.
No, he's going fresh to Warner Brothers to make the new Fantastic Beasts movie.
They've signed I think it's a 5-film first look deal. So the next 5 projects that he wants to do, he has to pitch to them first.
Mm.
And they can decide they want to go for it, or they can say, nah, no thanks, and he can take it elsewhere.
They can do the stupid, dumb decision and be like, no thanks, M. Night Shyamalan. We don't want to finance your movie, which would be stupid. It would be stupid of them to do that. Because every M. Night movie is a banger and everybody goes to see them.
Yeah,
Everyone.
that's the thing. Like, just give him endless amount of money and he will make it back.
Yeah, exactly. We're counting on you,
True.
M. Night, to bring us the best movies of the year. I'm excited for it. In other news, How to Train Your Dragon live action
Oh,
is coming to a cinema near you in 2 years. How are we feeling about this?
I actually made a joke about it like the other week because I thought there's no way you can make a remake out of like a live action out of that, and then lo and behold,
Yeah.
how?
Terrible idea.
Why?
I don't care that Dean DeBlois, brilliant DeBlois? I don't know. Dean DeBlois is back on the case. He
Okay.
directed those other ones. He also directed Lilo and Stitch, and he's a great director. But why would he want to do this again? Why would he want to do it? It's not like an adaptation of the movies he made, but it's an adaptation of the source material. The books, I think, were from, or the book, Cressida Cowell's book, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I assume he will do something very different with it. That would be my
Hopefully.
assumption. Because why would he want to make the same movie again? Just like with people.
Money.
No, I don't know. Does he strike me as the kind of guy who'd just do it for the money? I don't know. I don't know a lot about the guy. I'm not excited for it though. They're like, oh, you know what was good? House of the Dragon. That was live action. So they had dragons in it. So we're going to make the same thing we've done again.
So it's not quite the same, is it?
It's
Though?
a symptom of
like a kid's version of
we're gonna
House
go
of the
back.
Dragon.
Let's go back to our thing that did really well instead of coming up with a new idea. Great. Boring.
Yeah, they'll probably make the dragon hyper realistic as well, so it won't even like
Hyper realistic dragon.
yeah.
Yeah. Hyper realistic dragon.
As
It
it
will
were.
look like the real dragons of
No,
yore.
I mean it will look like what you'd expect a real dragon to look like, rather than like a
Like
very
House of the Dragon
characterful sort
Game
of
of
thing.
Thrones type.
Yeah,
deal. Probably.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
like
thought
that
that's
sort of thing. It's not going to be like the House Train Your Dragons movies where they're all very characterful and they're like meticulously designed.
I never say never, but
I don't see it.
I'm not hyped for it. I just wish they'd do something else, especially after, like, well, I don't know, is it DreamWorks? Is it DreamWorks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
just something original would be good, wouldn't it?
That would be nice, but I just don't think they're doing it nowadays.
No, I
Want someone
dunno.
original, go to, Disney. They did like that Strange World movie, and that was original, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's true.
But nobody saw it.
Too original.
Too original. And that'll plant the seeds in old Disney's mind. Obviously, they don't want original stuff.
Mm.
That's how they do it. They just like make an original movie. They don't market it at all. And then like it flops. And then they're like,
Yeah.
see? That's
I
what
saw
happens when we do original stuff, guys.
I saw an interesting thing, I think either today or yesterday, about that Lightyear movie, where the
Yeah.
director of it was like, oh, the reason it flopped was because it was like too out there and not recognizable enough. And I saw
flopped.
loads of people like replied to that and was like, the reason why it flopped was because no one wants to go to the cinema, pay loads of money for a Disney movie that's going to be on Disney Plus a couple months later.
I mean,
And that's the thing with them, I think.
That and
Makes
just
sense.
straight up, it looked bad.
Yeah, of course.
It didn't look good.
But I'm sure there were plenty of families that would have gone to see it, but they were like, oh, what's the point? We can just watch it on Disney Plus when it comes there soon.
Yeah.
And I think it went there like 4 weeks later, so...
Of course, they have to make their money back. All the kids going, I want to see the Lightyear. Parents are like, we don't have the money to spend a tenner on it at every single ticket that we go to the cinema to see. Or even more in some places. It's too much. We live in a cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
In fact,
That's
that's what
very
they're calling it these days. Not true.
what a cost of living crisis.
Yeah. It's not really, is it? Like, let's be real.
What is it then?
Just, money, companies charging a bit too much. And they could be not making billions and billions of pounds in
Revenue, yeah.
revenue. Shell.
They were absolute thieving bastards.
Mm. 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 So the BAFTAs happened.
It did indeed.
2023 BAFTAs. What? I don't really know what. That's the one with the face. The face
Yeah.
trophies.
It's the British Oscars, basically.
It's the British Oscars.
Honestly, I didn't even know I didn't even know when it was. I mean, I knew it was a thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually didn't know when it was until like the day it was happening, when I saw a thing saying it's on BBC tonight.
Mm. So you've got all the details on that, Chris. Fill us in with what happened there. Nothing too upsetting, such as certain actors punching other actors in the face.
That is true.
Not heard anything from that. Just saw a lot of pretty dresses and suits and all that. A lot of people go to the BAFTAs, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting this year because a lot of what won isn't what people were expecting to win, like the Oscars, and what didn't win, like the Golden Globes and other things. Like,
yeah,
the big winner of the night was All Quiet on the Western Front, which I think won quite a few. It won Best Film, Best Director. Just going through, see what else. Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
Best Film Not in the English Language. Best Cinematography. Best Original Score. Best Sound.
So can we like go through the categories and then be like,
are you just
here were the nominations and
out-
here's what won? Otherwise, I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah, sure. Should I just start at Best Film? That's the first thing here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously, All Quiet on the Western Front, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tar.
Yeah. And
So basically what's being nominated for everything.
yeah, I guess so. And that was who won? All Quiet.
Yeah.
I watched that recently. Darcy's seen it
Sorry,
too, or
attacked
most of
by
it.
things.
We'll probably talk about that in the next episode when Chris has seen it.
Yeah.
But service level, I thought it was very good.
Get your
I
act together.
wouldn't say that it was like, oh, that didn't deserve to win. Although I don't know if it deserved to win over like some others. I suppose like Tar, which is like an insane masterpiece. Or like the Fablemans, I guess, would be like a favorite choice for these critics. I don't know.
But that wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That didn't get any nominations, I don't think.
None.
I'm just quickly going through, but it doesn't look like it did.
That's mad. Nice one, BAFTAs. I respect them just a little bit more.
I got Best Original Screenplay nomination.
Okay.
Is it original screenplay if it's just based on Steven Spielberg's real life that actually happened?
That is true. I don't think that's very fair.
because some of it's made up. I think that's the only thing. Yeah, from the looks of things, that was the only thing it was nominated for.
That's interesting. We got any thoughts on like the best picture winner then? All Quiet.
Well, it was interesting because that's
Yeah.
like not what people were expecting to win at the Oscars. I haven't seen it win Best Film at any other award
You
ceremony.
think that's what they're doing though?
Maybe.
Like, yeah. All Quiet on the Western Front. That one didn't see that coming, did you? And they just do
Not
that
the
for like
British
loads of them.
BAFTAs. The British Oscars.
That's good though. I think that's quite interesting to see that win because it is a foreign film as well. Germany. I think they did a very good job on that actually. So I'm not sad to see that win. Although I don't really care about what wins the BAFTAs if I'm being real. Yeah, what's the next one then?
Best Director. So the nominees were Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front, Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave, Todd Field for what?
See Darcy cracking up at the name Edward Berger.
No, I'm not doing the Kermit face. I
Todd
can't.
Field for Tar,
Yeah.
Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Gina Prince Bythewood for The Woman King.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was a thing. To be fair.
Edward Berger won that one.
Yeah, Berger, baby.
Nice to see Park Chan-wook nominated for a award this year.
Yeah, good
at
one.
any award ceremony.
Well
That
done.
sounded
They
really
threw him a
sad when you
bone.
said it.
Yeah.
Here you go, Park. You deserve it, I suppose. It was all right. That's a great movie. That should be nominated for more things, I
Yeah.
think. But oh well, not upset with an Edward Berger win, really. It's a very well directed movie. Obviously, there are other movies I probably would have preferred the director win to go to, but you know, it's by no means a bad movie, like at all. So yeah, whatever. It's not really anything to be mad about.
Best Actor. So the nominees for that were Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Daryl McCormick for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand,
Oh,
Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living.
Leo Grand is a spicy one.
Yeah,
It's a spicy take. Who saw that?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
some old women.
Is that a movie?
Mhm. Yeah, it was an old a movie with like it's the guy.
Daryl McCormick's a sex worker and
Yeah.
he gets hired by Emma Thompson.
And they have sex. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I didn't
Does that
watch
make
it.
that better or worse? Probably not.
Saw trailers for it quite a few times, but didn't really
Yeah,
interest
felt
me.
like an old person movie.
Austin Butler won that one.
Okay, lame.
I think that's the first award, like big award thing I've seen him win.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've not seen the movie, so who's to say?
He is good in it.
So I've heard. Is he good or does he just look like Elvis?
No, he is good. He doesn't look like Elvis.
I heard. I think. Did I hear that he said his voice was like damaged? Now he can only talk like Elvis.
He's struggling to get out of doing the Elvis accent because of how
Insane.
long he was doing it for.
I've method acted Elvis for too long, and now I've become Elvis, and I can't stop talking like Elvis.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is not real. I refuse to believe that's real.
Can use the money he
It's
got from that win to undergo surgery on his vocal cords.
so
Cool.
stupid.
Best Actress. So we got Kate
Mhm.
Blanchett for Tar,
Mm.
Viola Davis for The Woman King,
Mm-hmm.
Anna de Armas for Blonde,
Mm.
Danielle Deadweiler for Till, Emma Thompson for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere. That went to Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, of course
Okay.
it did.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, no, of course not. But yeah. No, Andrea Riseborough. Eh?
Ah. Didn't bribe anyone.
Did she bribe people,
No.
or did she just go? Can you like
No, I think she just has some good
put a
mates.
little? Yeah, can you just put in like a
Yeah.
word for me? You're
Yeah,
a friend.
she's just got a
And took
lot
it too far.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
of friends in high
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, but
It's
you know.
whatever, innit?
is that really seedy, or is it just like because Disney pay for a lot of? It's like, oh, if you've not got like a
Yeah.
bunch of money behind it, not authentic. But it's like, well, if you've got a lot of friends in the
Mm.
industry, and they're like, yeah, go on. Not that I don't think anybody saw it, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Whatever. Hope it goes to Andrea Riseborough in the Oscars.
That would be funny.
That would be great.
The both supporting actor and actress are quite different than the Oscars and Golden Globes, I think. So for actor, you got Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin,
Mm-hmm.
Ki Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere, Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse, Albrecht Shu for All Quiet on the Western Front, and Michael Ward for Empire of Light. The last three I haven't seen nominated anywhere else.
Yeah. I know who won, but
Yeah, Barry Keoghan.
yeah, Barry Keoghan. Well deserved. He was bloody
Yeah,
good.
100%.
He was so good.
I hope he wins the Oscar. I think he probably will.
him or Key.
Yeah. Actually, I
think
could
Key.
see Key getting it.
Yeah. He's big. He's big nowadays, I think, or since the release of that movie.
Mhm.
He's massive. He posts on Instagram a lot, where he's just like posting
Yeah.
photos of him meeting famous people and pointing at them, and it's always very wholesome. I like that a lot. I like watching that. Brightens up the timeline.
Yeah, he keeps going to these award ceremonies with little googly eyes on his suit jackets.
Yeah, seems like a nice guy, a nice, humble, wholesome guy.
For Best Actress, you got Kerry Condon for Banshees.
Best supporting.
Yeah, sorry. Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Mhm.
Hong Chow for The Whale.
Mhm.
Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Dolly DeLeon for Triangle of Sadness, and Carrie Mulligan for She Said.
I have not heard.
Wait,
She
step
said.
back a bit.
She Said's that movie about the Me Too movement, about the original
Oh,
article
the one with
that exposed Harvey Weinstein.
Carrie Mulligan in it.
All right.
Yeah, she was the one who was nominated.
Yeah, and some other woman who else was in it, but I can't remember which one.
Zoe Kazan.
Right.
I've heard it's quite good, but I've not watched it yet.
No, it's all about Harvey Weinstein, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need more movies about that guy.
Too true.
It's cool to see a Triangle of Sadness actor or actress nom.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nomination for that because didn't the main lady die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
her that they nominated
no.
or the
No,
other
that's
one?
what. That's why I was like, hold on a second.
There were like two women in
I
that
assume
movie.
there was another one that I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
a
awful.
Filipino woman who takes over
Oh, she was sick.
on the island.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was insane.
That one
Spoilers
went
for that.
to Kerry Condon.
Yeah, again,
yeah, fair
completely
enough.
deserved.
great. Really
Yeah.
great.
To be fair, no one in that film does a bad job, so
No. Yeah,
whatever.
definitely.
I can't be mad because it's whatever.
Best original screenplay, I think, is like the exact same as the Oscars. So you got Banshees of Inisherin and Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
one's
sounds.
Banshees.
Sounds
Oh,
a bit-
nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's all I have to say to that.
Yeah. Best adapted, you got All Quiet on the Western Front, Living, The Quiet Girl, She Said, and The Whale.
What about you're gagging over The Quiet Girl?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was based on anything until reading that then. But that went to All Quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I haven't even seen
Screenplay.
all of those, but I can only assume that would have.
Yeah, I
Quiet
dunno.
Girl's a very weird one to nominate for screenplay because it's not got a lot of dialogue in it. There's not really much going on.
Maybe that's why they like it.
Maybe.
That's
It
the
stands
British
out.
for you, man.
Oh, that one. That's like no screenplay at all, almost. Let's nominate that. All Quiet.
Yeah.
That had a
That
really
was
good
from a
screenplay.
thing.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's no, wait, what were the nominations?
She had Living, The Quiet Girl,
That's okay.
She Said, and The Whale as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, everything seems quite stripped back.
That or The
Compared
Whale.
The Whale
to
had
Probably I
All
would have preferred
Quiet.
The Whale.
Yeah, The Whale had a great screenplay.
Oh, well.
Animated film,
Okay, go on then.
Mm.
Del Toro's Pinocchio,
Mhm.
Marcel, The Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish,
Mhm.
and Turning Red.
Yeah, of
Obviously, it went to Pinocchio.
course. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think all of those films are all right.
Yeah, some of them. Some of them are all right.
As in, I don't think I'd have been
Yeah,
too
no,
mad
yeah,
at
I
any
mean,
of
we
them
all know
winning.
Pinocchio's
But-
going to sweep the stages,
Yeah.
whatever it's nominated for.
Yeah, it was
It's
incredible.
a great
to
movie,
be
really
fair.
good, but yeah, no
I
surprises.
don't know if there's any point saying documentary. 'Cause I think only one of us has seen any of these movies, and that was you watching Fire of Love.
Great
which was
documentary.
nominated.
You should watch that.
Didn't win, but it was
Oh.
nominated.
So what won?
Navalny.
Navalny.
Yeah, that one.
Navalny.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry,
Navalny.
I wouldn't even
Yeah,
know.
I'll
yeah,
Like,
watch
you
it.
could have
Not
pronounced
watched
that
it.
wrong. I don't know.
All the Beauty and the Bloodshed's nominated, which I'm probably going to go see tomorrow.
I'm probably going to see that as well. So
Ooh, nice.
mhm.
As is
Wow.
Kai.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Kai always says, "Oh, I'll definitely see that in the cinema," and then he just doesn't come ever.
It's true. Because he
Not
can't.
having
Be a
go
good
at her.
test on if he listens to this episode, whether I get a message from him saying he feels bad.
It's not my
Just you
fault.
wait.
They were doing. There was roadworks.
Someone else stole something from the co-op again.
Best film not in the English language. So you got All Quiet on the Western
I
Front.
bet that one.
Yeah. Argentina 1985.
Yeah.
Corsage, Decision
Ooh.
to Leave, and The Quiet Girl.
Oh wow,
Corsage
Decision
is
to Leave
good.
finally got nominated for something.
That's interesting seeing Corsage nominated. I don't think it was nominated for like anything else ever.
No.
So that was really good. And it's good to see Park Chan-wook coming in there. That was good too.
Yeah.
That's probably the best one.
I like The
think.
Quiet Girl as well. That was great.
Yeah. But
I think
yeah,
I might prefer
All
that
Quiet.
to Decision to Leave, but
All Quiet's good though, you know.
Yeah.
best casting, is that something they do at the Oscars?
Oh no.
No, I've
I
never
think
heard
it
of
is.
this
That's
category
interesting.
before.
So that you got Elvis, After Sun, All Quiet on the Western Front, Everything Everywhere, and Triangle of Sadness. They obviously nominated the casting directors for all of those.
Yeah.
Elvis
Elvis.
won that one.
What
Which
did
is
they?
fair
Did they?
enough,
sure.
Yeah, but did they see what Tom Hanks did in that movie?
Oh yeah, he was fucking awful.
Like how?
But everyone else in that movie is
like
really
how
good.
can you nominate this director of fucking casting and actually see that movie and think, do you know what? Tom
Yeah.
Hanks was the greatest choice.
Yeah, it's
for
Tom
this.
Hanks. He's beloved.
No, don't get me wrong. I fucking love that man. But watch that movie and tell
No.
me you deserved a casting award for picking Tom
I
Hanks.
personally
for
think
that.
it should have gone to Everything Everywhere or Triangle of Sadness, because I think those both had really stellar casts.
Yeah.
Anything that wasn't Elvis,
Especially
to be
Everything
honest.
Everywhere, where it picked a lot of like older actors who have like who were famous years and years ago, but now aren't so much, and kind of
Yeah. James
brought them
Hong.
back.
That's
yeah,
it. James Hong.
yeah, he's in it.
He's great.
Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously.
Jamie Lee.
Shell
course.
Yo.
Key.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, really, really fucking good casting in that movie, to be honest.
Can't fucking believe Elvis won. it hurts me so
Best
bad.
cinematography, you've got All Quiet on the Western Front, The
Mhm.
Batman, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Top Gun Maverick.
Whatever.
Obviously, All Quiet one.
Yeah,
I was
whatever.
waiting for you to go, yeah, obviously, Top Gun.
Yeah. I think a lot of the rest of them are quite obvious, to be fair. Like, best costume design,
Oh,
Mhm.
for fuck's
the
sake.
Elvis, All Quiet on the Western Front, Amsterdam, Babylon, and Mrs. Harris Goes to
Amsterdam,
Paris.
interesting.
That was
Paris
Elvis.
goes to Paris.
That's not a movie. You just made that up.
Yeah, that's
didn't you?
amazing.
That is, yeah.
yeah.
It's one
It
for the
sounded like you
oldies.
just made that up on the spot.
It stars Leslie Manville,
Who the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
that person.
One of the ones, you know.
She was in Phantom Thread.
But yeah, Elvis,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Elvis one.
To be fair, I'm not mad about that in particular because everyone did look really cool. Like even Tom Hanks looked cool, and he was shit.
Mm.
Best editing.
Sorry, Tom.
Oh, baby.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick.
Go on then.
That went to Everything Everywhere.
Good.
Yeah.
They
okay.
did a lot to get that movie edited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
feel
all
like
editing from home.
that's
That was
deserved.
crazy.
Another one which is quite obvious, Best Makeup and Hair.
Yeah.
They got Elvis, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical.
Wait, what?
What, a bunch of singing-
Let's not skate past that. What the fuck?
A bunch of singing children.
Yeah.
Can't believe that got nominated
You
for something.
know, what's her name? The Emma Thompson? Who's in that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like got all the thick.
Got trunchbulled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they literally just make it look like exactly the same as the one in the other movie.
But
Yeah, brilliant.
did you say Elvis was nominated?
Yeah.
And it was Elvis, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
The
of
Whale
course.
was nominated as well.
Oh, what a fucking...
But obviously Elvis won.
What bullshit.
Bit of a snub. Did you
Come on.
did you see Brendan?
Did you see Brendan?
Did you see him?
It's hard not to see him.
True.
Fucking true.
Have you seen the picture of the vinyl of the soundtrack score?
It's
Yeah, I think so.
It's
the
just his
clo-
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing.
Really
It makes
creepy.
sense. I think
I
it
think-
suits it.
Darren Aronofsky loves that poster that somebody made. He was like, I'm going to use this poster for now, forever.
Yeah.
Just his face.
Yeah.
Best original score. So you got All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
That went to All Quiet again.
Oh.
Mm.
Hmm.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I don't remember I don't remember.
I'll talk about it on the next
Yeah,
episode,
but-
but I think probably it shouldn't have.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be the judgment here because I don't know.
A lot of these I actually haven't watched for a while. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm sure that score was like really good.
It is fantastic.
I don't remember
but I just
it.
don't
Yeah,
remember it, and I saw it like months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
Carter Burwell for Banshees was really good.
Don't really remember that either, to be honest.
A lot of the score for Babylon I really liked.
Oh yeah. If there's anything
I
you can
wasn't
say
a big
about
fan.
Damien Chazelle is he really pays attention to the music.
Wasn't it like proper jazzy and shit?
Yeah, he loves his jazz.
And then there was random bits that sounded like club music, which I didn't really like that much. Yeah, a lot of that sort of shit.
Can't say I can't remember. We only watched it like a week ago.
Yeah. Best production design. So you got Babylon,
Ooh.
All Quiet on the Western Front,
Mhm.
The Batman, Elvis, and Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
That went to Babylon.
No complaints, really.
No?
No, that
Well, it
film
was very
did look
good
pretty
production
cool,
design.
to be fair.
It's good to see Pinocchio being nominated there.
Yeah, get
As
the
an animated
animated
movie.
movie. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we got a couple more technical ones, and then there's like 2 British related ones.
Ugh.
British related
Yeah.
ones? What do you mean?
So you got outstanding British film and outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer.
Oh,
Best
I
use
love
of the word
that.
in it.
I love that.
Best sound.
Yeah.
So patriotic.
All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Elvis, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick.
I feel like that's the first time you brought up Avatar in this whole
Yeah.
video.
Well, I walked into her for about 10 seconds of Top Gun, and that was loud as fuck, so I bet that one.
That was All Quiet.
That's funny. All Quiet, winning best sound. How'd they fucking hear it, bruv? How'd they even hear it?
Best visual effects. So you got-
Fuck off.
is there even any point in listing it?
No, Avatar.
No, go on.
It was Avatar. But you also got All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Everything Everywhere, and Top Gun.
Go Avatar, I guess. Well
Yeah.
done, blue
Outstanding
people.
British film.
Outstanding British film. You
Yeah,
couldn't have
British
said that in a
film.
more British manner, could you? This one's the outstanding British film, isn't
That
it?
was beautiful. I need you to do that again.
I haven't actually looked at any of the nominations before, so this
Yeah,
will be
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, go on then.
So you got Banshees.
Yeah.
After Sun.
Yeah.
Brian and Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Empire of Light.
Uh-huh.
Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. Living. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. See How They Run. The Swimmers.
Ooh.
And The Wonder.
The
Yeah, they run.
Swimmers.
Nice. That's interesting to see that
Yeah.
creep in there.
And that went to Banshees.
Yeah,
I
good.
didn't think Banshees was a British movie, though.
Yeah, it's Ireland. Do you know what countries are in Britain?
Right, I thought...
That Britain was only...
Right, no, right, yeah, I know
England.
I'm going to sound dumb right now. But you have the United Kingdom, right, which I thought was like, you got Scotland, Wales, Ireland. I can't say it without having an accent, by the way. But I thought Britain was just like the bit that's contained to
It's either the
the little
United
bit
Kingdom,
of the, yeah.
where it includes all of Ireland, or Britain. I think it's Britain that contains all of Ireland.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
the
that's my
United
bad.
Kingdom
Then.
is...
Yeah.
They cut the top half of Ireland off.
Okay, that'd be why I got confused. I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
okay.
Fair enough. Good to see After Sun nominated.
Yeah.
Really good Scottish movie.
Speaking of After Sun, you got Outstanding Debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nominees for that: After Sun, Blue Jean, Electric Milady. Good luck to
Electric
you.
Milady?
Yeah.
How does-
Electric
What, is that about
Milady.
Let's see.
Fedora?
How do you spell that?
M-A
Yeah.
and then lady. One word.
Malady.
Malady, Milady.
It's not
No,
Milady.
wait. Yeah, yeah.
Nah.
Is
I
it
can't believe you just said
Okay,
that.
hold on, sorry, no, hold on.
Electric
Is it-
Milady?
capital M
Show
A
it to me.
capital L,
Show me how
or
it's
is it
spelled.
just?
Where is it? Electric Malady.
Is it?
Milady.
There's no capital L. It's a singular L.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah.
Chris. There is a distinct difference. If it's a capital L, then you would pronounce it how you did. If
No,
it's
it's one
not a
word.
capital
Anyway,
L, you would
Milady
just.
sounds
yeah.
better. Good luck
Whatever.
to you, Leo Grand, and Rebellion.
What the fuck
Never
are any
heard of
of the? Yeah,
Rebellion.
what are any of these
That
things that
and,
you're talking about?
Electric Malady don't even have Wikipedia pages, so they
I
must be
don't
Interesting.
even
Well,
know
there
what
we
you're
go.
talking about.
There we go.
But yeah, After Sun obviously won that one.
Good. Yeah, well deserved. Fucking
It's the only one that I've even heard
phenomenal
of.
debut.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Okay,
Cool.
that's all of it.
Was that then?
And then there's short stuff.
Yeah, whatever. Don't care about that.
He had the E Rising Star Award.
Oh yeah,
EE, like the
Yeah,
phone
it was
network.
the EE BAFTAs,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
So you got Emma Mackey,
Mm.
Naomi Aki, Sheila Atom, Daryl McCormick, and Amy Lou Wood.
You
Yeah.
are saying
Oh, I know who won
words.
this, actually.
Emma Mackey won.
I don't
Really
know.
well deserved.
Don't know what you're talking
She
about.
was in Emily, the
And
movie
that
about.
show Sex Education.
But Emily Bronte.
The main girl.
But yeah, apparently so. She is credited as main role on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I've only seen Emily, but she did very well in
I was
that.
gonna say yeah,
I've
because
yeah.
not seen her in anything. She's in Barbie.
oh, hell yeah.
Interesting, cool. That'll be good
When that
I'm
gets
excited to
nominated
see
for the
that.
Oscars of 2024.
when that wins Best Picture.
I'm trying to see if I know any of the others. Naomi Aki was in The End of the Fucking World.
Oh,
she the
is she
ginger one?
the girl?
Bonnie,
Yeah,
the
the
one
main
who's in
girl.
this. Isn't she the one that's in the second season only?
Who the fuck?
that?
Bowles. Don't remember.
Yeah, she's the Have you not seen the second season?
Yeah, I think.
I just
Yeah,
don't know who
yeah,
you're
it was
talking
just
about.
ages ago, wasn't it? It was years and years and
Anyway,
years
are you
ago.
able to like flip a phone around or something?
Why do you
Like,
expect me to
can I-
remember
can I
everything
get,
I've
can I
ever
get-
Yeah,
watched?
she's the one that's like coming after them in the second season.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, again, I don't really remember
yeah,
a lot
like,
of what
I
happened
watched
in
it
that.
about 7 years ago. Like you're
I'll try
talking to
and
the
get a
wrong
picture up of
people.
her.
I
She was
don't
in
really
an
care.
episode of Doctor Who as well, apparently.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that.
Every British actor is in Doctor Who at some point. Like, let's be fair.
In Small Axe.
Yeah, I only watched one of those.
Axe?
Small axe.
Oh,
There's only a little one. Yeah, it was
yeah,
only a little.
Okay.
That
It was
was
only a
good
small axe.
series.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah, I was.
You couldn't kill anyone with it.
Yeah, we're talking about
Uh,
British accents now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I vaguely remember
No idea.
just about.
No idea. Right, is that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to. I was
Oh.
just quickly seeing if I knew any of the others. But I
No,
don't.
guess not. Cool. BAFTAs. Great. I just like seeing everyone who went, and I like seeing all their outfits and all that. You know, they all looked very nice. If you care about that kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. What's next? You guys want to talk about that movie you saw?
Yeah, one of the nominees for Outstanding Debut, or whatever that was called.
Yeah, it was good.
What was it? Yeah, it was good. What the fuck was it then?
Blue Jean, directed by Georgia Oakley.
I thought
We saw it on Valentine's Day.
it's probably like the least romantic
Yeah.
movie known to man.
We were like walking to the cinema and we were like, oh, Titanic's on tonight.
Yeah,
We're
you
going
don't
to see
watch
Blue
that.
Jean.
No, I was. Yeah, so I was. See, I don't know anything about anything anymore because I was making these jokes like, God, I can't imagine loads of people are going to be flocking to the cinema to see Titanic when you can just have sex on your sofa and watch it for free on your TV. But it was all packed. Like every screen was
That's what I did.
sold out.
There was only
every
two
fucking screen.
screenings, but it was completely sold out. There were no tickets left at all.
Yeah, and it was on
Yeah.
like the other day. I think
On
it was on like the
Valentine's
day
Day,
before
you know.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a very romantic movie.
I was like, fucking hell. But then Chris did rightfully say that you get to see
Yeah?
insert names tits on,
Kate
a big,
Winslet.
yeah, on
Yeah.
a big screen, and I thought, do you know what? Fair enough.
That's the only reason anyone's going to see that. Yeah.
Pretty much. Everyone's,
That's all the
everyone's
men. That's all the
leaving as
men are
soon as
going
that
for,
happens.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what happens after that. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, Blue Jean, set in the 1980s. It's about a
Mhm.
PE teacher called Jean who is basically
Blue.
living a double life because she's secretly gay.
Because she's blue.
Dabba dee dabba da.
Yeah. It's during like a period of time when kind of gay rights wasn't really a thing yet because of like the AIDS crisis and everything.
Yeah,
Gay people
Margaret
were kind of
Thatcher's
like
trying
looked
to
down on. Margaret
kill it all
Thatcher
off.
was doing some shit, trying to make being gay illegal, basically.
No, that's not what. Well, basically what it was, but it wasn't. It was like
No, not as serious
she's
as
a-
that, but
because she's a PE teacher. Well, it doesn't really apply to the fact that she's a PE teacher, but it's coincidental. About like this policy they wanted to set about not
Being gay in
it
PE.
was like
being
not,
gay and being gay in education. So like teachers weren't allowed to talk about what's the word I'm trying to say here though? Like
I don't know. Shall we
They're
play
not allowed
charades
to
and find
discuss
out?
their sexuality with students
you're not
in
allowed
case
to
they
promote.
kind of,
That's it. It's supposed to
promote
like
it and push it on them.
promote homosexuality, even though everyone's been gay since the beginning of fucking time. So I'm a bit confused about Maggie Thatcher going at it like that. But
yeah, this character of Jean, she's like basically living this double life.
She's very
She goes
conflicted.
to this gay bar constantly, and one day she sees one of her students there, and that kind of just
which is
throws everything up in the air.
well, to be fair, I think it would though, because her students are 15, and this
Yeah.
girl's just at this bar, and she's underage, and it's all a bit dodgy, really, but like it's not at the same time. Like it seems dodgy, and then just a lot of shit goes down. And what was the name of her girlfriend?
I can't
Viv.
remember.
That was her
Oh,
name.
yeah.
Viv. I liked Viv. She was probably the best one in the film, but she's not in it that often, which is quite sad. But she just seemed to be like the most. I don't know.
Gay.
She was the most gay. Let's be honest. No,
She definitely had a very punky sort of attitude where she was like
Yeah.
completely anti-establishment, didn't really care if she had people throw abuse at her. She just kind of wanted to live her life, be her, and express herself without fear of judgment.
she seemed like she just didn't give a shit. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's. I think why I liked her was that she sets like that sort of. She's almost like that metaphor for like. There's that beacon of someone who's always going to be like the. Not the promoter of homosexuality, but like I don't know, like a good role model for people who shouldn't be like afraid to be themselves. When everyone in this movie pretty much was afraid to be themselves, except her, pretty much.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Which
what
I
makes
liked.
it quite interesting is the character of Jean has like this insane conflict throughout where she's like trying to protect herself, and she doesn't want this to come out because she knows she'll be judged about it, but she also doesn't want to be afraid to express herself. She kind of wants to be free, and at the same time she kind of wants to be a role model for this student, but at the same time she's worried that doing that will lead to the student telling other people about her and that kind of coming out and ruining her career. So it's like this insane conflict throughout, which
Well,
I
it
think is
probably
quite
didn't help that she
interesting.
was a teacher, to be fair, because a lot of what the movie was talking about was like all these things based around not promoting these things in like educational settings and stuff. And I assume if she had a different job, it might have been slightly different as a movie. It also didn't help that she was a PE teacher. Let's be honest. Like that's that. Like I mean, I'm not here to cast judgments, but it's not a great look, is it? Being a PE teacher, not being a PE teacher, but like if you're, you know, like what people might think, they're like, oh, she's gay and she's teaching, girls PE, like you know what I mean, like you know what people are like, the fucking weirdos. I would assume it's
Physical
probably-
education.
Yeah.
I'm all sweaty.
Like, and she's like in the, you know what PE teachers are like. They're always like lingering
yeah.
around like locker rooms and shit. Like
Wait, what?
they do because
Do they?
they just I don't know. They just chat shit with like other teachers that are there because they'll have like a.
They're in the changing room.
Well, it depends on who you had, but yeah, a lot of the time they'll be
Wow.
in the changing room with you.
Weird.
Not it.
I don't know what goes on in Luton, but I don't like it. That is not your experience is not universal.
Not necessarily like in the changing room, but they would be like,
Well, you didn't
I
like it when your PE teacher came into the changing rooms with you and snapped you on the ass? Said, good job, son. Well done. See you on the b-ball court.
I guess it depends on like what kind of changing facilities you had, because depending on, because when I was in you call it high school down in Luton,
Up.
right?
Luton is up.
Down, fucking Scooby Dooby all around. So before they remodeled it into like this, so it was an academy when I started there, but they hadn't remodeled the old building yet. So they used to have like another part where it was like a kind of like a big locker room, a bit like the one in the film actually, but like longer instead of like a square. And the teacher used to be there, but like I think she was just like marking shit and just fucking like just standing there like just fucking doing nothing. Like I don't think much of it, to be honest. I just didn't think it was like
carving wood animals.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe it was just something that maybe it was just a Luton thing. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps it was.
It was just whatever, innit?
I think only you went through this.
Maybe, yeah.
I think a lot of what I liked about the movie is it is very simple in how it tells its story. It's not going for anything
nothing
flashy.
Fancy,
it's very minimal, I think. It's not trying to be overly emotional or manipulative or anything like that. It is a very straightforward, simple movie, but it feels very real and grounded, and I think that kind of helps it convey its message a lot stronger.
It felt very British.
It is classic British indie movie.
Yeah, when you watch a British indie movie and it's like
pretty depressing.
Yeah, proper glum, and like obviously the budget's not massive, so it's just like it's nothing flashy.
They make it like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, here, we'll give you more money, and they're like, it's a British movie, it's an indie British movie, so we actually need less money to make it even more dour and depressing.
I mean, they always have to throw in something about how bad Margaret Thatcher was.
Yeah, I like the there's a particular scene where she's like driving by a billboard, and it says something like Margaret Thatcher is a wank stain or something stupidly British, like something really stupid, and I was like, hee. But nothing will ever beat Chris's review of the whole movie. I was walking home thinking, actually no, I was talking out loud. I was saying to Chris, I was like, the British people have such like this visceral hatred towards her, but like but it's I'm like referring to people that have like never even met her, if that makes sense. Not met, what's the word, like
never
wasn't
been alive,
weren't alive at the time, but the venom, the fucking sharpness.
You just pick up a book and you learn about the things that she did, and I think you'd probably not like her as well.
No, that's the thing though, but like it's just it feels so quintessentially British to have such venomous like responses to things. Like it'll be like,
we hate all our prime ministers here. We vote for them all,
she seemed
and
to
we
be the
hate
worst
them all.
one. She seemed to be the one that when most people die,
she certainly feels like one
you're
of the
a
worst
little
to
bit
me.
sad, but like everyone was just like, there were even like old conservatives on the TV going, so glad she's fucking dead. And I was like,
Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead was #1 in the charts for a couple of weeks.
Fucking mental. Not saying
no one
that,
liked her.
Yeah, not saying that she was a good person or anything, like even far from it, but like, damn, like I was like, fuck it, like it feels personal almost, like it feels like an attack on your own soul because it's so sharp. so painful.
That's what it is to be British, celebrating every time a Tory dies.
Yeah, but what I liked about in this case is that even the Tories were like, thank God, the worst one is gone. And then they're all competing to be just
now
as
it's up to me, Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak, to bring it round and
I don't know which one of them is worse,
Conservatives at the household name.
Yeah, we're in a place where I think a lot of like homophobia and stuff is still kind of there, but it's not as deeply rooted as it was back then. And I think films like this are quite important to kind of remind you how things actually were once upon a time.
Yeah, I think these films are important for people who don't know much about their like I'm talking about like your cis straight people that don't know a lot about gay history, because let's be honest, people in the LGBT alphabet mafia are going to be sitting there going, yeah, I didn't fucking need a movie to be told that this is what life was like, because it still kind of is like this now. Like, I don't know, it doesn't seem as important unless you're watching it from the stance that you know nothing about anything that's happened ever in queer history. But maybe that's just coming from someone who knows too much, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know, it doesn't feel that important if you
these movies exist
know.
to like be important in that sense, though.
Yeah, like I guess for other
like, do they make Blue
maybe,
Jean to be like, yeah, this is what it was like, and it's important that this movie is made because it needs to tell this story, or is it just I wanted to tell the story because I enjoy the story?
I don't think
I think it might be a bit of both.
Yeah, probably.
I can't imagine anyone enjoying that kind of story though. Not enjoying. Like the film was great, but I mean like once again, it's not a happy film, is it? So I don't feel like people would enjoy watching this. But then
I imagine it was something quite personal for the director.
It must have been, because it felt
very authentic.
Yeah, it felt very like they've taken bits of their own life and like spliced it in, or like, you know, tried, because some of it felt too specific, you know, like you know, like things that could only happen to someone and they put it into a movie. That's what it kind of felt like. But I don't know anything about who directed it already. I don't know if...
I think you get that with a lot of independent movies,
yeah,
to be fair.
I don't know a lot about anything, to be fair.
Like After Sun apparently is like almost completely autobiographical.
That's fucked, to be fair. From what I know about it, that's pretty fucked. But
yeah,
then
it feels like it,
yeah.
You'd need to like live these.
Yeah, it's got to be drawn from
like
experience,
that, you know?
right?
I think that's a good thing when you're starting out. You kind of like, when you start as a like writer or director, you kind of like write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
so it's easier to kind of make something quite personal and delve into your own experiences because, you know, you've lived it.
Well, I feel like it's got to be somewhat authentic, because I don't think it would be right for one of us to make like this really hard-hitting movie about like heroin addict, because we've never taken it. We don't know what it's like to be addicted to it. Like it would just be so like out of touch, wouldn't it?
No, you watch Trainspotting, you're like, I get the gist.
All Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, one of those.
Absolutely not.
Watch that episode of Breaking Bad where Jesse takes heroin and starts floating.
There we go. All you need.
I don't think so.
Should we rate this movie?
Huh?
Should we rate this movie?
Oh yeah, sure. Would you
don't have to rate it
out
or anything.
Oh.
It's really sad about that. You can if you want.
Well, no, I don't want to.
Rate it out of netballs, and then that's what they play in it.
Yeah, they do. They play netball in the movie. Pretty disappointed there.
I thought it was a really good movie. I'm definitely going to be interested to check out what Georgia Oakley does next. Glad I saw it in the cinema as well. It's a very good looking movie, very grainy.
It is. It's so like old stock film.
Yeah, it does look like it was shot in the 80s, and I really like that. It feels very authentic. I think I'd give it 8 netballs out of 10. Yeah,
I actually fake a chef's kiss to the... It was like... I love a little bit of grain. Looked like noise.
Yeah, visually it reminded me a lot of The Souvenir. Looked quite similar to that.
You going to give it a rating? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 8 netballs out of 10 balls.
Haha, balls. That brings us on to the thing that I recommended. Season 1 of the OA. This aired on Netflix in 2016 when it first came out. It was co-created by Britt Marling and Azal Batmanglij, and stars Britt Marling as the titular character. She plays Prairie Johnson, who resurfaces after having been missing for 7 years. She now calls herself the OA, and despite having been blind before her disappearance, she can now see again.
Whoa.
She returns to her foster parents, and as nobody knows where she was all those years, the season centers around this mystery about what happened to her. So she seeks out 5 people who are strong of mind and will, and gathers them over the course of a few nights in an abandoned house to tell them the story of basically her entire life and how she got to where she got and where she has been. I recommended this because I've been telling Chris and Darcy, watch this show. And I know that anytime I say that, they're not going to do it. So I had to force them to watch it. It was very nice for me to have to watch this again because it's one of my favourite shows ever. Sadly, it was supposed to go on for 5 seasons, but then Netflix cancelled it after 2. So if you're expecting an end to this story, you may be disappointed.
Yeah, I remember hearing loads of people kick off when it got cancelled.
They were not happy people.
I had never heard of the show until it got cancelled, and everyone, I saw nothing but uproar on like Facebook and Twitter and shit.
It has a very dedicated fan base.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cult show. To this day, people are still upset that it's been cancelled, we're just hoping for it to come back. I'm one of these people who are like, just bring it back, some other place, pick it back up, bring
when
you
was
it.
the second season? It was like 2019 or something.
That's what it ended.
Yeah, 2019. So a
Been a few years. Yeah.
Mm. Doesn't mean it
between
couldn't come back
seasons, and
again.
also, I think it's a bit unlikely.
Probably
but
not, but it's not to
A lot
say
of people
that
are
it couldn't.
convinced because of the nature of the show that it's also some sort of publicity stunt.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And that it's all an elaborate stunt. I'm interested to see this duo of Britt Marling and Zal Batmanglij. They have a show coming out on FX soon called The Retreat.
They've done a few movies together as well.
Yeah, I've got to watch some of those. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. And if it is one that I sort of recommend to everyone because I think it's a very interesting show. Even though it doesn't have a solid ending because it can't, I do think it's worth watching. But season 1 ends and it ends on I think it concludes pretty nicely as a season. So yeah, I think this might be like my third time watching this. But yeah, what do we think of the OA season 1?
I thought it was alright. I wasn't a huge fan, but I definitely think it is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really creative things going on, I think. I think that's what I enjoyed the most about it is very, very creative. It's very original.
Mm.
You can't really predict where the show's going to go because it's going all over the place. It's got, I'm not even sure I'd say they're twists, but it's got a lot of like reveals and stuff throughout where like in a million years you couldn't have predicted that was what they were going to reveal. And that's what I think kept me interested, was just kind of seeing what was going to happen next.
Mm-hmm. Good. In a sort of way, I suppose. Because I was thinking like, what if they fucking hate it? that would have just destroyed me.
No, we definitely...
Yeah,
I'm speaking for both of us here. I definitely don't think we liked it as much as you did, but...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely not, no.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I found it kind of... for me, it kind of did like the dip and dive kind of thing where it was... I was kind of... The first episode, I was kind of like, what the fuck is this? And then like the kind of longer it went on, it got really interesting, and then it lost me again, and then it got really interesting, and then it lost me again.
That's kind of how I feel.
And then it got really interesting, and then just as it was like getting really interesting, some weird fucking thing happened, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm interested in this or not. But we were watching did you watch it yesterday?
Yeah.
We watched the final episode yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the final of the season anyway. And I actually thought it was quite interesting. But Chris turned to me and was like, I did not like this certain bit that happened. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it did feel... I'll let him explain this in a minute. But I personally felt like it was a little bit out of place for the show. But I
felt like the ending was going to be quite divisive.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't
because it is not what you expect, at all.
It wasn't the very end, but it was just before that.
I mean, we're all definitely talking about the same thing.
I think so.
Like this escalation where she's sort of telling them her story and how she was abducted, I suppose, and captured and put in this cage in a basement, and
like
Jason Isaac's basement, which is like a greenhouse with 4 other people.
Yeah.
And like over the course of 7 years, they have to basically, they're like NDE survivors. So they all went through, they died and they came back, and what they saw in that is basically the crux of what Jason Isaacs' character is trying to uncover. He's the villain of the story. He's trying to find out basically what happens after you die, or like a way to stop death in a sense. That's what his character's about. He's quite an interesting character, I think, and quite an interesting villain, because he's definitely not outwardly evil. I don't think he like really wants to be hurting people, but he is the type of guy who will go to any lengths to get what he needs, and it doesn't really matter if he's hurting people to do that, because the greater good is all he's sort of thinking about.
Yeah, he's kind of almost like an anti-hero in a way.
Yeah, I was thinking that, because it's almost like he's doing that classic philosopher, I can't remember which one, quote, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
So he's like, I am very happy to save the world if it means fucking up these 5 individual people, which I mean,
against the lives of billions.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, I guess. But yeah, like he's not actually outwardly like a bad person, because he's always like, I better warn you, if you kill me, everyone else is gonna die, and all this other kind of stuff. Like he clearly cares about these people to some degree.
You think?
I think he does, but not. I think in classic, I think he's a bit of a narcissist. So in classic fashion, he cares about them, but not over his own needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's known them for 7 years, so he obviously cares about them to some degree, doesn't he? But it's just not enough to actually treat them like normal people, I guess.
What do we feel about what he's trying to do? And is that like an interesting hook for a show, do you think?
I thought it was quite... So it was really interesting, but there was a part that I still don't quite understand, and I don't know whether... Because obviously I haven't watched it beyond this season. I don't know if it ever comes up again or anything, but he's talking about how like these certain noises that they hear and stuff when they die and come back, they go to Saturn. Is that did I get that right? They've gone to Saturn.
So he basically is killing them over and over again and bringing them back.
Yeah,
with a fucking crazy contraption, basically drowning
it was
them.
Cool.
It was really
like
weird.
It was the Radiohead bucket.
Yeah,
is what
no surprises music video.
Yeah, it's like a bowl, and it's like something out of Saw. It was fucking insane.
But he's like recording the sounds that they're sort of hearing in their NDEs.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Oh, guess what this sound correlates to? The rings of Saturn."
Yeah,
very interesting.
So,
is that where you go when you die? Perhaps.
Yeah, they're going to Saturn. So I was just saying, so do they go to Saturn, or is he just saying that it sounds like they're going to Saturn? I'm confused. And why Saturn? Like, I don't know if this is anything that ever comes up again, but I just thought it was like a really strange, like little tidbit. Like, hey, you probably are going to Saturn when you die, and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It's all very existential, you know. Yeah, playing with a lot of existential themes. I think you're supposed to think about.
It's like
life on a grander scale and how we relate to each other in like terms of the universe. Yeah,
it did feel very like everything is connected. And I was like, you don't need to tell me that, man. Didn't need a TV show to tell me that. But I thought, do you know what? I thought the weirdest part about this show actually was the fucking.
Oh, you know what? I just looked this up. I was like,
what?
Oh no, I'm wrong. I thought maybe it would be like Saturn was the 5th planet away from the sun, but it's not. It's the 6th. But there were 6 people, like technically, because if you count him,
I guess so. But then it kind of
pretty interesting.
Kind of defeats the whole like 5 movement thing that they're talking about.
Yeah. What do we think about basically the whole show? The crux of it is like they got to dance.
It's
they got to do these dance movements.
Babe, that's not a dance. That's choreography, but it ain't a dance. It's like I've never seen
weird
anything
yoga type of stuff.
Oh my god, it's the and
they're like, we've got to find the 5 movements.
It's like
they go into their NDEs, they find a movement, they eat a fish or something, they come back, they're like, this is the movement. They got to do it to unlock travel to a new dimension. That's what they feel.
Like I actually hated it. Like it was hold on, let me try and articulate my words here. What I mean is I know it's supposed to be like intriguing and kind of like beautiful in a sense, because it's like, these angels have like created this like system in which they can like revive the dead and solve cure illnesses and all this kind of stuff. But I just found it really fucking cringy and hilarious when they're going. It was like something out of like fucking High School Musical when they go ba ba ba. I was like, I fucking hate this. Every time they would do something, I would just say what the fuck and start laughing. I hated it. I hated that bit so much when they would start doing it. But what I liked about it was how like well every actor seems to do it in sync.
Mhm.
How did they do that? How did
So
you
much
get that?
choreography
Like
getting
it was
done.
insane.
Yeah.
That bit I liked because I was like, okay, they put in a lot of graft to be able to actually do that in time and do it well. But I hated it. It was just, I just found it too.
A lot of effort to put into something that a lot of people are going to hate.
I just found it too funny. I think it shouldn't have been as funny as I found it.
Yeah, I did kind of find it funny.
It was cringy. I did not like the hissing and the weird screeching noises. I hated all of that.
Oh man.
I think if it was a silent dance and no one was hissing or babbling or anything, I think it would have been a lot better. But
I just feel the complete opposite.
I did not enjoy that whatsoever.
I think it's
apologize.
so good. I think it's so cool. But I was thinking like anyone could watch this and think it's cringy as fuck, like because because of the nature of it. But like I'm there thinking like, what are they trying to do basically, and like how does it influence what they're trying to do? They're doing these dance moves, and there's something a bit more primal about it, and like they do it basically in like a circle. They're all in like this circular type of cage, so it feels like something more tribalistic about it, or like a bit more naturalistic about the movements and how they're like hissing and spitting at each other, and there is something about that. You just feel them like they would almost be gathered around a fire naked and doing this, and it would be like insane, right?
Like it was. I liked what it did when they were doing it, but I don't like the fact that they had to do it like if that makes sense. But I think it's despite the fact that I found it really like embarrassing, it was quite it's quite creative, isn't it? Like someone actually sat there and said, right, okay, we're gonna do this piece now where we're all gonna stand at the same time and do these movements of which
and they're like puzzle pieces, right?
Yeah, like I've never, and people probably, I don't know if anyone who's going to listen to this has not seen it, or only people who have seen it might, I don't know, but it's I've never seen anything like that in a show before. Which if I'm going to give it praise for being creative, I'm gonna say right now that I've never seen anything.
Oh, it's super
like
out
that
there
in a show before.
It's a very unique show in that way. That's why I love it. I just think like Netflix has never done anything like this. They've never funded anything quite like this, or that does exactly what. Because
doing
it's
true crime.
It is weird. It's weird the stuff that's going on, but like the production is fucking insane. Like the whole way through, I think is technically on a level that's like the best thing they've ever done. Netflix, or like the best thing they've ever commissioned or funded. There's just like so much about it that's like really well done and creative, and like everybody there, nobody thinks it's like stupid. Nobody thinks these like dance moves are stupid when they're doing it. Like the actors don't think it's.
Well,
like, surely, because it's like harkening to something bigger, I suppose. But like, it could absolutely be stupid. I could completely understand why you would feel that way. But I suppose it's like I get past that because I like know what is happening. They don't know why they're doing it as well. So when they're doing like when so Scott's in there, trapped with them, he dies. His body gets put into the cage again. And they don't really know why they're doing these movements around his body. They just know they're like, well, I can't just sit around and do nothing. Let's just do these movements. Like, who gives a fuck? And they just keep doing it over and over again all throughout the night. I think the process of going through all of this for 7 years, they were trapped down there, and that's all they don't really know what's going to happen when they get all these movements. They just know that like there's something instinctual in them. They go, we just need to find it. Like that's our only way out.
I guess when you've been down there for 7 years, I guess like you just cling on to any kind of like because it's the idea that you have nothing else, right? Like
there's like that obsession with trying to get out, but like I love the scene where they were doing that over his body.
Do you know
and,
what?
like,
That was
they
pretty
did it
sick,
throughout the whole night. It's only like in the morning where they're just still doing it and they haven't slept at all.
Yeah,
and all the blood starts running back into his body really slowly, and people start to know they're like, oh my god, the blood's going back into his body, and that was like, this is insane. That was incredible.
Cool. That was probably like
lifts up, he's like,
yeah, that was
fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was probably like one of the best bits about it because I remember going, oh, that was interesting. Like, because at first I was just thinking, what the fuck are they doing? And I thought, wait a minute. And it was actually quite interesting. But I don't know. Like I said, there are parts of it that are really, really interesting. really creative and really like new like things that you just don't see in TV. And I was like, okay, like cool, whatever. But then there were just like lulls where I just thought, oh, fucking hell, like not that it was like overtly like boring or anything, but I tend to when it wasn't very interesting, I tend to lose the plot of like what's happening around it. So like I was, I think we were watching episode 2 or 3, and I was like, I was actually following it. Like, can we finally get some praise out here for me finally fucking following something? And Chris just turned to me and went, I have no idea what's going on. And I was trying to explain it to him, and he was just like, I mean, I know what's happening, but I don't understand what's going on. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is one of those shows though that I think you decipher more and more as it goes on.
Yeah.
Although, another thing I fucking hate, that it took me so long to figure out what OA meant, to the point that Chris had to Google it because it was pissing me off, because I was like, what the fuck does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
They do sort of say it.
And then she only tells you in the last fucking episode what it was. And I was like, oh, right.
Interesting.
I don't know whether...
I'm assuming it's something that you're just not supposed to know till the end.
Yeah.
I assume so,
We
but
just got
things like that bother me, and I will not hesitate to find out on my own means if I have to. But I was wondering whether like because they all have like code names.
Do they?
Well, no, I know
Who? There are 2 sets of people as well. So when you're following the past as OA is telling the story, you're following the people in the cage. But when the people she's telling the story to are equally their own group as well.
Oh yes, apologies.
In the
I'm
present.
talking about the teacher woman.
BBA.
Yeah, but BBA, is that just because her name's really long?
Yeah, Broderick Allen was her last name.
First name's Betty, was it?
Yeah, Betty Broderick Allen. So I guess it's easier to call her BBA.
Oh, right.
Kind of like how we call you D.
Yeah, but my name is not Betty Broderick Allen, though, is it?
No. No, you are right.
No, but I don't mind. I just point that bit out, but I realised that I've kind of just been babbling on about like the highs and lows of this, and I've not really. Chris hasn't really said anything, because I knew that from the second episode he said, I don't really know what I'm going to say about this, so I'm just kind of babbling on now in the hopes that he will say something and save me from the purgatory that is me just babbling on and on and on and on and on and on.
I think something that I've definitely felt was that I wanted to have a bit more of the like modern day like characters like explored a bit, because that was something that I found really interesting. That's something they delve into. I can't remember the character's name, but that guy, they go heavy into his like story in the first episode.
Which one are you
Steve.
Yeah, and I was finding
kind of a dick.
Oh, the military guys, I'm going to put in quotes.
Yeah.
I found that really, really interesting. I wanted to see a little bit more of that explored.
I strangely liked it, though. There was something about that, the kind of story of like the teacher who wants to save the misunderstood kid. Maybe
it's sort of like classic in that way.
Yeah,
his sort of arc of trying to learn to be a better person, because he is quite a bully and he hurts people and like punches people in the throat. But he learns over the course of the season, upon hearing this story and like how OA had to like work with other people. He was like very much a lone soldier type of guy, and he's like, "No, I fucked up," and he was trying to be better.
Yeah,
I think his is a good arc. Although I agree that like I don't know if I would have wanted like more from like the other characters, because I think we got kind of enough for the story it wanted to tell in this season. But it does go into a bit more detail, I think, in the second season with a few of those characters. I think every time it like went back to the present, I like let out a breath that I didn't know I'd been holding in, because it's so it just goes and goes and goes. It's just relentless when it's in the past. And because they are struggling so much. They just like, just get out, man. Just leave. Just get out of there. You got to find a way out. And as soon as it goes back and you realize that she's actually just been telling the story, and she was free because she is telling the story about how she became, she got back and got out of there, because you know that eventually she has to get out of there.
Yeah.
You just don't know how she gets out of there. So every time it goes back to the present, I'm like, oh, oh, everything's sort of okay.
Yeah.
Sort of.
She is back. How do we what do we think of the first episode where we're introduced to all these characters, but then it sort of throws you for a loop at the end where she goes, I'm going to tell you about my tale. And then the credits come up in like an hour into it, and she was like, I was born in Russia.
Yeah.
My father was a Russian oligarch, and like I died and I came back to life, and then all the music comes in, and then all the title credits come in.
Yeah, it's really jarring. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I have no idea. I was just kind of like, what the
I thought that was the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I thought like the end credits were coming up and there was still like another 10 minutes or something.
No,
It's a long episode, that first one.
See, I don't really know what Chris thought of it, but cause I just kept thinking, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean she's Russian? What do you mean she's dead? What do you mean she's black? What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is any of this?
That's the sign of a good mystery where you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
It was just like, what the fuck is happening?
But it does just kind of throw you in the deep end, this show, I think.
Like, I know, because obviously I know that we this is the first, like, I haven't seen the second season. This is basically like questions that I'm just kind of raising up as I was watching it. I was like, does it even matter that it was mentioned that she was Russian? Like, does it ever come back up again? I know it does a little bit, but not a lot. Like, did we really have to know that she was Russian? Was there any, like, does anything happen in the next season that makes me go, oh yeah, I'm definitely glad she told me she was Russian? I don't know. I'm confused.
Well, if you didn't know she was Russian, then you would never have known. She was like, she started it by saying, well, you want to know the story of how I got my sight back, but how I lost it was way more interesting. And so she had to go back into her like childhood to say, like, we were in a bus full of kids and the bus went over a bridge and like we almost drowned, and everybody got out except for me. No, everybody died except for me, and I was the only one who got out, and that's how I lost my sight. That's why we have to know that she's Russian, right? And it's like this common thread where like she loses her father. Yeah. She's like this tragic tale, and she's like playing this Russian song on the violin, and that's how Hap comes to see her in the subway, and he understands that she can play that because she had an NDE. That may be like the only thing where I'm like, meh, is like he was like, oh, I heard that you're very good at that. Did you once die and come back to life? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do you know that from that? Like, is it not possible that she's just like a good violinist?
Yeah, like, I assume he's been studying that kind of thing for a long time, so maybe they all play like the song or something. I can't. Yeah, I don't.
It was a Russian song.
No, but I mean, like, you know,
for her father, and that's why she went to New York. New York.
So the only reason she could be good at playing the violin is because she died and came back,
which is true.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like that. So you're telling me this doctor guy just went. Yeah. She's definitely got off. She can't just be naturally hardworking or very good at the violin. She has to have died and come back.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
That's So that's the only part I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know.
I thought the only thing that I found was like, well, I say the only thing. The other thing that really like, I thought like there was going to be something like really, 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 really cool or interesting or fucked up way that she got her sight back. And no, just gets bonked on the head and she fucking sees again. And I thought, that's bullshit. What the fuck?
That's not like exactly what happens, is it?
Basically was. She got bonked on the head, died and came back.
And then, you know, the Arabic woman goes, I'm going to give you your sight back. You're not going to like it, bruv. And she has to, you know, she's still in that. She's still in it.
Right, but you're telling me that's not as... Right, so in my head, I was thinking, I thought this doctor guy was like gonna... I don't think he was going to kidnap her, to be fair. But anyway, I thought at some point, when he's studying all this shit about like dying and coming back, he was going to do some like cool deal with her or something like, oh, I know how to fix your eyeballs. I'm going to give you your sight back if you do something. But no, she just gets bonked on the head and she fucking can see again. And I was just like, do you know what? It was better in my head. But you know what? Fucking hell.
She has to eat the bird. Right.
But the what?
She has to eat the bird. Then she gets the sight back and also the movement.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the bird thing. I thought that. Do you know what? There are some really weird fucking things in this show that I just forgot
She eats
about.
the bird.
Yeah, she eats
And
the
she
bird.
doesn't
I
quite
forgot
know
about the
like
bird.
why, or like if
forgot about
that's
that.
the same for everybody else. But she's like to a homo who's like in the cell next to her. She's like, because they're all dying and coming back. She's like, when you go into the NDE, if you see something living in there, you just got to eat it, man. And
Oh yeah, I remember
I'm
her
just
saying
like,
that.
how do
Actually.
you? I get that she would be like, that's what I went through. So probably that would be what you went through. But it's like, oh man, yeah. Because if that's like the only thing you can grab onto is like, that's how I got this movement. That's probably how you're going to get the movement.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like you grab like a fish in a tank.
Eat
Oh
the
fuck! I gotta eat the fish. That's where all that like hissing and shit comes from, right? With the movements where they're like,
Oh, what from like
spitting
eating
it out and like
stuff
eating
and
it,
that,
and
yeah.
those
I
are like
haven't
the
even
sounds
thought
you
about that,
make if
to
you were
be
like
fair.
struggling and you were like, oh fuck, I gotta eat this fish.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, if you had to eat a bird whole, you probably would.
I think this show is very much going for like the aspect of like how much we need people to communicate and like live a fulfilled life, and how they were cut off from people for 7 years. They didn't touch anyone for 7 years. No physical contact with anyone for 7 years is like just gonna tear you apart, right? So I think it is very much getting to grips with like our place in the world, or like kind of very existential when it's talking about like what does it mean to be alive, and like how best can we live our lives, and what does it mean to like be part of a community, and making allies in unlikely places,
especially with like the modern day people. They felt very much like, oh, you know how it is. It's the age old story of let's get 5 or 6 brain fucking melting here. People in different popularities and ideologies of high school, and put them together in a room and let's get them to be best mates.
Yeah,
that was literally I got from it. Like, yeah, like the whole typical, you would never be my friend in real life, but now we're best mates because we know this one thing that no one else knows. And I'm like, oh yeah, classic story that. But I liked how they did it in this actually, because normally it's a bit cheesy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was more about like how our differences kind of pale in comparison to the bigger picture.
Yeah, especially
and how you basically could be allies with anyone, or like make friends with anyone if you were united with a common goal. Because like, you know, no man is an island, and like the dependence and collaboration. It's not like a crutch, but it's actually something to be sought and celebrated.
Yeah.
Well,
and having like the most extreme circumstances, doesn't matter how divided or different you are, you will come together. You will form this community and help each other out, because that's what is intrinsic in us as humans to do, and to help each other out like that.
Well, yeah, especially when we're paling comparisons to someone being locked in a fucking greenhouse in someone's basement. You start to see the bigger things in life. You know what I mean? Like some things are just bigger than you know.
You got Riz Ahmed coming in as well.
Yeah, that
you
was
guys were like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was fun. I
I
Riz.
saw him. I was like, is that fucking Riz Ahmed? And Darcy was like, what? And they like cut to him again. She was like, I think so.
You know, the guy from Venom.
It was kind of when he came on, I was like, I'm not entirely sure, because it could be, but I didn't want to say it was, just in case like I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure it is. And then like it plagued us to the point where Chris was like, I have to look this up now because it's upsetting me. I have to find out. He's like, bloody is, it's him.
Yeah. I liked him a lot. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, he's really good in it. He's not in it a lot, but I was going to
say he's not in it.
He's like a therapist sort of guy.
He needs to be in it more.
Well, watch the second season. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of really good performances throughout, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I loved Jason Isaacs in it. He was fantastic. He was
He's cool. I don't like him, but I like him.
Dominating presence anytime he was on screen. He was like really creepy at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
he felt like weirdly human though.
Yeah.
You absolutely knew where he was coming from. I think I watched a few interviews with him and he said like this is like his favourite role that he's played. I completely get it, because it's such a well layered character. And you really get to grips with like what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's not like a typical like he was evil.
No, what was it that he said? There is no black or white, just grey.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Yeah,
that's
what
fucking
makes him
right.
more
Yeah,
interesting.
he's grey, 100%. Because I guess you almost find yourself kind of rooting for him and not rooting for him at the same time. Like, it's you kind of like tug of war at yourself because you're like, oh, like he's just
you don't want him to die either.
Oh my god, no! Actually,
you sort of want him to die. Towards the beginning, I was like, kill him. But when it gets like deeper into the season, I'm like, well, I don't know, because I am kind of interested in the character and I'm invested in him.
I kind of felt that as well. I was kind of like, oh, I mean, no, but also yes. It's complicated, but I feel like that's exactly what it's. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's meant to be.
And I love that scene. Like it's sort of towards the beginning where he trusts Away or Prairie, whatever you want to call her, to go into his kitchen in his home because she's blind and she can't really escape. So or see what he's doing and what his ultimate goal is. To get her to do like menial tasks around the house and make lunch and dinner. And there was a great scene towards the beginning where she just like picks up a knife and you think she's going to stab him, but she just makes a sandwich instead. And then he's like, here, make sandwiches for everyone else. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because you get the sense that like he really doesn't care about like as long as they're alive.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He doesn't want to torture them. He just wants to get the results.
Yeah.
So she can do whatever she wants, like really within reason, as long as like they're there to do the research with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's a line where I think he says, "I think of you all as collaborators." And it's like, oh, that's seedy as fuck.
That is pretty fucked up, to be fair.
Because I think it gets it into his head that he's actually relating to them and that he actually gets a sense that like maybe they're all right with him at points. Where he's like, yeah, you know, we're like doing this together. We're all in this together. But he is, he's quite a delusional guy, you know.
Yeah.
Because what his goal has no actual end, really.
No.
He doesn't really know what the end would be. He's flying blind a lot of the time.
No, I think he knows that though, because he like kills that guy because he's like, I don't want you to know any of my secrets. I'm going to kill this man.
Yeah.
And
you can't know how I got the secrets to restricted stealth technology.
Yeah.
Did we recognise Brandon Perea from Nope?
No.
Yeah, he's in it. He's French, isn't he? He's Frenchy. The kid in the present who has the mum who's like an alcoholic. He was in Nope. I was like, fuck, I didn't even recognise him.
Oh.
But they go into his backstory a bit, how he kind of has to care for his younger siblings because his mother was a deadbeat alcoholic.
Sweet Alfonso.
Yeah, Alfonso, French. Yeah.
Right. No,
he's there like doing drugs before school. He's like,
actually,
just get onto it. He's like an athlete, and like there's so much pressure on him to like be the best.
Because he's one. Doesn't he do lacrosse?
Yeah.
What the fuck is with lacrosse in these like episodes, man? It's following me around. No, do you know what was weird? I kind of thought, I don't know who, like I didn't know who he was, but I kept thinking he kind of looks familiar, you know. But like I just kept thinking, nah, maybe he's not. But now that you've said it, I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm glad that you brought it up because I was like, I don't recognize him. Nah, he just looks like a familiar person. That was it. No, I guess I did see him in something.
I like him a lot.
That's how I felt about the actor of Buck. I was like, they look really familiar, and I just looked up, and they're in The Last of Us too.
Oh,
I thought they looked very similar to a character, but I wasn't sure.
Ian Alexander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like Buck. Buck is a terrible name, but I do like Buck.
Shit name, bro.
I don't know. I quite like him. Interesting.
I like the dynamic between these people as well. And how that develops over the season. Because it is very unlikely. And you got the teacher in there as well. Phyllis Smith from The Office as well.
Yeah, it was really weird seeing her in it.
But a great fucking performance. Really great performance. doing like a really very good dramatic
Yeah.
performance with it.
But she still feels very Phyllis from The Office.
Yeah, she's got a comedy in there as well, for sure.
She's got a certain demeanor about her.
Yeah, I think I really like all how they kind of bounce off of each other and how they kind of
They're all very different.
they don't really care too much for each other at the beginning, but like they are ride or die at the end.
That's what I mean. Like it's almost like it's like the classic story, isn't it? But like I kind of like them because they're all really fucking goofy as well in their own kind of way.
I really loved that scene where she like tries to save Steve and like gives up like all her money to rescue him from the people who are sending him to military school.
She's a true one. She's a fucking real one. She came out here like, I've got 50 grand for you. And I said to Chris, would you ever do this? And he was like, probably not. I was like, okay.
If he had the money, but well, it's a lot of money. I don't know.
It is a lot of money, to be fair, but that's just, I felt like that she definitely had that whole like teacher nurturing kind of vibe.
Yeah.
She was like, I must save this kid because if I don't try and get through to him, he's going to get stuck at this this military
but
school.
But she hated him at the beginning, right? And it only took
everyone
like the
fucking
OA
hated
fucking
him,
coming in and being like, that was a great scene as well. Like towards the beginning where he was supposed to be kicked out of school and taken away to military school, but the OA comes in and she's like pretending to be his mother. She's like, you don't need to fight, and she talks to BB and she's like, you don't need to focus on the kid that's like great at singing and he does all this stuff because it's too easy. You need to focus on Steve because that's the one you want to help, and that's why you got into teaching in the first place. It was such a good scene. It's like,
that was really good.
It also speaks to like just the education system as a whole, and now it's too easy to like dismiss problem children, and you know, because they are kids and they need to be molded at that age and set straight on the right path. And
because
he's a character who learns a lot about that, I think, over the course of it. And he was struggling a lot with like not meaning anything to anyone, like his girlfriend who he wanted to be his girlfriend, like she didn't care about him, nobody cared, his parents hate him, his teacher hates him. It was a great scene where like he basically got it in his head that like OA was like, she didn't care about them and she only wanted to get back to her friends in the cage and save them, which was a really good scene, honestly. But like he stabs her with a pencil in the leg.
I can't.
She's like there like hugging him. Yeah, I get it. You know, also another fucking great scene was like where he sets his dog on her in like the first episode.
Yeah,
and she like tackles the dog and like dog and bites the dog, and basically like makes the dog her own dog. That was great. It was so good and unbelievable like cinematography throughout it. If we're going to talk technical,
it does look really good. Yeah,
this is like one of the best looking shows that Netflix have done. I think there's a few. I mean, like. If you watch like the Dark Crystal show, that's like insane puppetry going on in that, and the cinematography is amazing. This is also like in terms of like a live action. You see the actors there. It's like they put everything into it. Everyone is on top form. The music is amazing. Cinematography is amazing. The sets. I love the set of the prison and the underground and like this.
Is really good.
It's kind of it is horribly oppressive and like a really horrible situation to be in, but like. Oh man, it looks so nice. And all these plants going around and like this kind of stream that goes through the cage, and that's how they're able to wash and sort of pass things to one another, and sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah. But it is off the charts amazing. Like they spared no expense for pretty much all of this, I think.
It looks
and the writing is just like top notch.
Oh God.
Definitely.
I
Like
don't know.
I'm so I mean, I guess it depends what you want from a show, but it is doing very strange things and weird things that I don't think I'm used to with other shows, so I suppose that could be a bit of a turn off for a lot of people.
No, I appreciated it, but
although I didn't completely gel with everything going on, I do have a lot of respect for it, and I do like understand it is very creative and it is doing a lot of things that Netflix shows don't usually do. You can tell that they hired people who were willing to take a risk and do something different.
Yeah,
because I guess it only takes one show to be brave enough to experiment with something for other shows to take precedent from that. But
it's not a show where I'm like, oh man, whatever Netflix does next is going to be great. It's definitely a show where I'm more like, whatever Britt Marling and Zal Buckmundridge do is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to the retreat.
Yeah, we can't pretend that we know that this is the work of Netflix, right? Because we know what Netflix do. They do true crime documentaries and
I think it got cancelled. Yeah, I think it got cancelled because it was like at a time where Netflix was doing like an overhaul or something, like they were losing a lot of money or like they had to cut costs somewhere and just, it was like an unfortunate.
I'll be honest.
They did a huge purge of shows that just weren't really getting a huge viewer base.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think even if they had the ability to, even if they had the money to like bring shows back, I don't think
they would.
What am I trying to say? I don't think they would.
Because they're already like having to cut a lot of things nowadays, and I think a lot of people are losing faith in them.
Yeah, I just think it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but I just feel like even if they had the power to make another season, they wouldn't choose to make another one out of this. I think it's just too creative and
well, I mean,
too
if you brought
risky
this back,
for them as well.
You would have to bring it back to its fullest extent, and you would need to do the full 5 seasons. You can't just renew it for 1 season.
Yeah, and obviously it's going to be a very high budget show, so I don't. I don't see anyone really.
Expensive.
I don't know what the budget was.
I don't think anyone will really can like pick it up.
No.
I think it's too much of a risk.
I think it's done.
That's what I mean.
Which
I think it's too
shame.
risky, but unless they could do it themselves, I don't know. I think
they could do like books or graphic novels or something, because I've seen that quite a few times with shows that have been cancelled early. They've
actually think that
carried it on in graphic novel form.
That show would definitely make a good graphic novel. Like, that's not even a joke. I actually think it would make a great graphic novel. Have you ever read Saga?
No.
It's like spacey type shit vibes that it gives me that kind of like vibe from this show. Like, like the whole like sci-fi fantasy kind of thing. Like, it would make a great graphic novel. Someone should pick that up.
But it's like,
it won't be me, but it should be someone.
I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer got like axed before they wanted that to end, and that carried on for years as a graphic, like as a comic book series.
Yep, someone's missing out there. Someone needs to commission someone to make it. Sorry, I need to stop fucking cheersing myself. That's what I'm ever doing.
Or just a book.
Yeah, I would be up for anything that they're doing, honestly.
A big fuck off book graphic novel of just the whole story. A big wedge. Yeah,
Last few final thoughts, I suppose. It's getting late. Well, I guess we didn't really talk about like the ending, where like this shooter comes into the school and they start doing their movements to distract him. What do we think of that? Because I think that was the kind of thing that I thought, this is going to be. you can't like do this and then have one. Yeah, it was all right.
I felt it was very uncharacteristic of the show just to randomly bring in that. I mean, I know it's not supposed to be random, because obviously like that, they all get up and they like, do the moves and stuff. Now I feel like they needed something to happen in order for them to do that, but I think it could have been done with anything a bit more tasteful than a school shooter. Personally, I think it was a bit tasteless. Personally, I don't think that was a good idea. In my opinion, I don't think it's great for a show to bring in a school shooter. Because it's a little bit. It's a little bit.
I don't think it's something that any show should really tackle in such a way. It's like,
it just didn't
Glee
need to be done.
had an episode with a school shooter that was quite controversial.
Yeah, I think unless there is like a proper context to it and it's needed for the story, then don't do it, because this show didn't need it. It shouldn't have happened. But I understand that something had to happen in order for them to do it. But it didn't have to be this. But I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. I just didn't think it was. I didn't think it was in character, and I didn't think it was necessary. But I didn't hate it. I just thought, why the fuck is that happening? It was basically my thoughts on it.
I get that completely. I even agree to an extent, honestly. But I still enjoy it because I think it gets them where they need to go, and like the purpose of these movements is like she said at the beginning, we're doing this to save a lot of people. This is going to save a lot of people, and they did, I suppose. It doesn't go about it in quite the way you would expect it to, but I enjoy the fact that they subverted our expectations in that way, to be like, you didn't like save a bunch of people by like doing the move, then unlocking some sort of portal, and then like a Pokemon comes out and destroys the bad guys.
I mean, that would
maybe you would
be
expect something like this.
Something.
It's kind of a sci-fi mystery to do, but it is. They did save a lot of people, and that's how they went about it. And it also, like, she gets shot at the end, and that's how that happens, and goes away in the ambulance. And the insinuation is that she's going, because they did those moves, she's going to like a different place, right? So I don't disagree with what you guys are saying about it, like, completely.
Yeah, like,
but I definitely don't. There's not like a bad taste in my mouth, I don't think. And I think watching it for like the third time, there are a lot of points where I'm like, the tension is there, but only because I've watched it before and I know exactly what's going to happen. So like when they're like going into the school in this final scene, I'm like, oh fucking, I know exactly what's happening. Or like when she's being led into the basement by Hap, I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. Like, there's so much here that's like very viscerally affecting to me, and there is a lot of it. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
it's very emotionally driven for me.
Yeah, it adds a lot more context when you know what's going to happen, right? Because you're just like, fuck me. But no, I kind of understand what you're saying, because I was trying to say that, like, I understand that they needed something to happen in order for this thing to happen, in order for it to make sense. But why did it have to be that? They could have done anything, but they had to do that.
It's America, innit? It happens all the time.
Yeah, you couldn't do that. You wouldn't do that in Britain. Like, it just don't work.
Be someone with a knife instead.
I mean, yeah, but I assume it's not as like it's probably not as direct, because you'd have to get quite close to people in order to do that. Whereas with a gun, you can be quite far away.
Depends on the size of the knife.
What the fuck are you trying to tell me? He's like, I've got this fucking like samurai machete sword, 6 feet long.
Yeah.
Should we get to ratings?
Sure. I'll just say that I also, just something we've not talked about is like her relationship with her parents. I thought that was really interesting to see how that develops over the season, where she's not really told them anything about what's happened to her, and like the fact that she is told these 5 randos what's happened to her, and not her parents, her foster parents, is like gutting to them when like they find out that French is like, what, she didn't tell you? And her mother's like, she told you? Well, that was like, oh man.
In my opinion, I totally see. I know it'd be difficult to hear that you would have told someone else over like your parent or something, but how much easier is it to tell someone that you don't know or have any sort of like, like any sort of relationship with, about something that's happened to you, knowing that it's not going to affect them in the same way that someone who loves you and is like so connected to you is going to feel. Because I was on fucking prairie side, man. I was like, I totally understand why you would tell a stranger rather than your own parents.
I think the point of telling strangers was not emotional catharsis for her. It was about getting these people where she needed them to be to enact her mission, as she said it. It was her mission. So to just say,
well, I guess that too.
Like,
to be
it
fair,
wouldn't be in service of it, because she knew what happened to her, and she also didn't want them to go through the turmoil of having known what happened to her.
That's what I mean. I also can't imagine that they would be doing all them.
I just thought their dynamic was like really interesting, like a really good performances from all of them. I think Britt Marling is like amazing in this.
She is really good,
yeah.
She like only writes for herself. It would be interesting to see her write for other people at some point. But yeah, I'm really happy with like what the performance that she does in this. It's like amazing.
Yeah, she was cool.
Same with like a lot of these people. Honestly, they're like really good actors. Zendaya is in the second season.
Oh,
really?
She is. I don't know. There are like a few things. I don't know. Yeah. No, we could go to ratings. Okay. Let's rate it.
Out of what?
Movement.
Okay.
No, we'll do it out of NDEs.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting show. I didn't love everything that was going on, but there was not anything I like flat out hated. I think it's definitely very creative. Not 100% sure whether I'll watch the second season, but we'll see. A lot of that just comes down to the fact that it doesn't have a conclusion, and I don't like shit like that.
That is, yeah. I'm thinking that is why I recommended it though. I was like, even though it doesn't conclude, I do think it's worth watching.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I put it off, because
Yeah.
I don't want to like get really invested in it and then just be heartbroken because it doesn't finish.
That's the case with a lot of shows nowadays. I think it is very hard to invest in any kind of show when you don't know what its fate will be.
Yeah, that's
Unless it's
why.
fucking Rick and Morty or some bullshit.
That's part of the reason why a lot of the time I don't watch shows as they're coming out.
Yeah.
For that exact reason. But yeah, I think it was a very interesting show. I give it 7 NDEs out of 10.
Nice. Yeah.
Whew. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I love it. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Even though I've watched it before, like I'd probably still carry on with it and watch season 2 again because I enjoy where it goes, and like there's some fucking weird shit that happens in season 2 that I would recommend you stick around for, even though it does end on a it doesn't really conclude at the end. It's like, yeah, and there's more to this as well. And in the same sort of way, although I think season 1 has a more conclusive ending than season 2. I still think it leads into season 2 very nicely. And it is interesting to see where the story goes and how the characters develop as well. Yeah, one of my favorite shows ever. I love it so much. I'm really interested to see The Retreat as well. Emma Corrin is in that as well. That'll be interesting. Yeah. For season 1, I'm just gonna give it like 10 NDs out of 10. It's amazing. I really don't have all that many problems with it.
Don't really know what to say that I haven't said already. So 7 NDEs out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, so not terrible. I was afraid that you guys were just gonna fucking hate it.
No, no. It was like, it's complicated because it was like, yes, there's no hatred, but there were parts of it that just not vibe, no vibe, kind of vibe. So
it
it
was
was
like the kind of thing where like, I don't want to ask you what you thought of it like before we did the episode because I wanted to be a surprise, kind of like how Chris did with Dexter. But
right,
Chris let slip like the other day. He was like, I don't really have all that much to say about it. I was like, for fuck's sake.
Well, to be fair, I saw Chris. I saw Max's expression when, because lovely Connor, he asked what the show was about, and I was like, I don't know how to explain this fucking show to you, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
That's sort of par for the course for you, though. When Darcy says, I don't know what it's about, I'm like, well, yeah.
It's quite a complex show as well, so it's kind of difficult.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, because like...
There is a lot.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't know how to explain something, but this was like even worse. So like, Connor's looking at me like, it can't be that bad. And I'm like, no, honestly, I do not know how to even start with this. And I thought, he's probably not even going to enjoy it, even if I explain it. So I'm just not going to do it. But,
I do have a note, actually, I found on that trivia. I'll just say this to cap it off.
Oh, yeah.
On August 5th, 2019, despite the generally positive reception to the show, Netflix cancelled the series after 2 seasons, leaving the show with a cliffhanger ending. Marling wrote that she and Bat Munglish were deeply sad and that they would not be able to finish the show. Fans responded with a hashtag Save the OA and hashtag The OA is Real campaign on Twitter, a change.org petition, and by posting video of themselves performing the movements from the show. Additionally, the OA fan base raised funds for a digital billboard in Times Square. Marling wrote that she was moved by the fan support. One fan went on hunger strike outside Netflix's Los Angeles headquarters to protest the show's return, which is not something I agree that you should be doing.
Absolutely not.
Marling and Bat Munglish visited her and offered her food and water, which is very good of them. Some fans online put forward a theory that the cancellation announcement was just a meta publicity stunt. That is a lot of what is surrounding the show at the moment as well. It's like it's all a ploy. It's all a stunt. I don't think it is. I think it's just, and they've said it's not, So I harbor no hope about it coming back. I enjoy what we have of it. I wish it was finished, but that's just the way these things go, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cool. The next episode episode 116. It's a free-for-all. It's the first episode of the month, so we're all going to recommend just some movies that we could talk about. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm picking a movie that me and Darcy have seen before, but Max has not.
Good.
It's the debut from a director who did a movie a couple of years ago, which I absolutely loved. We've spoke about on the podcast before, so I'm interested to see what Max's thoughts are on this one. And I'm excited to see it again. So my pick is 2016 movie by Julia Ducournau, Raw.
Lovely.
Oh, nice. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's a pretty fucked up, grim movie.
I expect nothing less from her.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really grim.
I said at the beginning of the year that I was going to recommend movies that I hadn't seen because I'm trying to do 365 movies that I've never seen this year.
Mhm.
I'm going to make an exception this month because I really want you guys to watch this movie, and I know you're not going to watch it unless I actually show it to you.
Yep.
But it is the 1973 movie directed by Robin Hardy, The Wicker Man.
Do you know what? I'm
original
not even
one.
mad about that. Once again,
Not the Nick Cage one, the
I would
the
have
other one.
watched it eventually. It's been one
Well,
I've wanted to watch for
Yeah.
ages.
truth be told,
Well, I'm showing it to you now.
I've definitely seen a Wicker Man. Not sure
Yeah, I've
which
seen the Nick
one
Cage one.
though. So
He's like in a bear or something.
Yeah, punches a woman in the face.
I've seen that. Good stuff.
and I'm picking one that my mum's nagged me to pick.
Ooh.
Because she was like, "You gotta get them to watch it on the pod." So I'm picking Mermaids from 1990.
Mermaids.
Yeah, starring Cher herself.
Oh, another Cher.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Another Cher movie.
Cool.
Mm.
All right, so we got Raw, The Wicker Man, and Mermaids.
It's a very strange spectrum of movies.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That'll
2
come
horror
out.
movies, 1 whatever.
And one about
Mermaids
mermaids, and one about
It's
2
actually
horror
not about
movies,
mermaids,
and one
but-
about the ill effects of eating raw fish. Cool. Social media: YouTube, The Sunday Movie Marathon; Instagram at Sunday Movie Pod; Twitter at Sunday Movie Pod; Facebook at Sunday Movie Marathon. It's like I'm on autopilot. Letterboxd at Sunday MM, capital S, capital MM. Do that. And if you don't, I'm just an insane person talking to myself every week.
Woo!
And
you are.
yeah, just
to be
like
fair.
like it and like it physically and like it in your mind, and also subscribe.
Like it physically.
Subscribe physically. There's a button for that, and also rate the podcast 5 stars if you can do that. I'm pretty sure you can do that on Spotify. If you
Yeah.
want, maybe you can rate it 1 star. Do that. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Never rated a podcast on Spotify, so I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Rate us 2 stars. Thanks.
Rate us half a star, just anything really.
Any final words?
Thanks.
I was just looking at Chris because he was like,
I was trying to think of something clever,
yeah, he was
but
like
my
leaning
brain
over
just
the
shut
mic,
down.
like I'm going to say something.
It's late. We got nothing clever left to say. It's
We've got no
over.
brain cells left in us, so au
Bye.
revoir.
Yeah. Wagwan.